Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. And Ken Whitman is apparently Whitmaning again. In other words, I think he's stringing folks along. If you go to Not Another Dime for Ken Whitman, you'll see the updates, or at least the comment section on the Ken Whitman's pencil dice Kickstarter only 6 years late for fucking pencils, right? And you got to go back. And if you go back, it's been about 3 weeks since somebody said, "Hey, these unexpected pencils showed up." And they're unexpected at this point because nobody really thought they were going to get shit. Even though Ken, a year or two ago, was like, "I've got a pencil presser." That's awesome, Ken. So, look at the pencil dice Kickstarter page. Ken had 3 updates yesterday, 2 of which are backers only. One was an update for $2 backers. I'm assuming those are people that only got one pencil. The other is to tell people apparently that pencil cases should arrive by the end of the year. Strangely enough, that means that Ken's going to pay to ship things out twice. I don't think so. If you got a pencil case coming, your pencils aren't coming now. That's just the obvious thing there. And please update your address as I am shipping out pencil dice. I am shipping pencil dice each week. So far, only 2 out of the 50 orders sent have been returned. Now, here's the thing. Ken specifically stated, "I am doing the small orders first." So if you ordered one pencil, he's getting your order out first. So here's the theory. Ken can claim, "I've completed shipping half the orders," when he just does maybe 1/10 of the pencils by shipping out to all of the small orders first. I'm not saying that Ken would scam anybody. I'm just saying Ken would most certainly scam anybody. Why is Ken putting these pencils into people's hands now? Why is he making a big deal about it? Expect in 2022 for Ken the Whitman. This is my prediction. I could be wrong. I doubt it. Expect Ken to be coming along with his little tin cup, his Kickstarter tin cup or Indiegogo tin cup or some other crowdfunding source, and he's going to be asking for money because Kenny assumes, and it's worked for him in the past, that the memory of people who've been fucked over by Kenny is short, and that people won't keep on pointing out that Ken is a scammer, does not make good on his debts, right? That's what it comes down to. I am sure that whoever is behind Not Another Dime, myself and a few others, will be vocal in reminding people why they should avoid Kenny when it comes to future crowdsourced or crowdfunded products. Buyer beware is certainly it. Now, here's something, and I'm going to just bring this up. Justin LaNassa has given numbers as to his expectations for the attendance over at TSR Con next July over the holiday weekend. I believe the 4th is Monday, so it's really the holiday weekend. So, Gen Con was held, if we don't count Gen Con 0 in Gary's basement in 67, Gen Con was held in August of 68, 69, and 70 at the Horticultural Hall in Lake Geneva. Yes, it is a pretty much landmark for gamers. 96 attendees in the first year, 187 the next year, 250 in the third year, before they moved to the American Legion Hall because they kind of, I guess, were busting out of the doors. Then they started splitting between horticultural hall, guild hall, legion hall. It started being in multiple spots because just couldn't hold the numbers. All right. This is what I have from Justin. And I told Justin that I would correct my predictions, and I'm going to do so. Because I said, Justin, I've been to GaryCon, because he was claiming that it wasn't packed. And by the way, they're claiming that Gen Con wasn't packed. And for Gen Con, it wasn't packed. 25,000 attendees is not a packed Gen Con. 25,000 attendees is still more attendees than 99.9% of conventions out there. So the claim that Gen Con was empty, that's kind of like that fake news shit that goes around, right? Compared to prior years, though, yes. So, I said to him, I've spoken to old timers that attended Horticultural Hall era, the Gen Con back in the day. Please open our eyes and tell us your expected attendance numbers. Wenger did so for next July's WengerCon in Madison next July. And he did. And V is maxing at 100 attendees. Are you expecting to accommodate significantly more? I'll gladly correct my numbers if you can show the community what TSR Con can accommodate. I'm true to my words, but I do have other questions. I'm going to give you questions, but I'm going to give you Justin's statement. By the way, it had no snark, so I will give him credit for that. We will have approximately 250 to 300 gamers playing games at once at TSR Con 2022. All right. That's still 50 more, right, on a far end than they were able to accommodate in the early days of Gen Con. All right? And it's a lot for your first convention. I give Justin credit for aiming high. It might be difficult. The other issue is, we're going to follow up on this right now, including utilizing the courtyard, have areas mapped out for events. I believe the courtyard is outside. All vendor 25 will be outside under tents like the current farmers market held every Thursday in Lake Geneva. Excuse me. Here, I'm going to throw out a little thought. This comes from my background in law enforcement and having worked at conventions. I've worked tables. I've sold at conventions. Right? One of the big concerns at conventions is what? Theft off hours, which is why the dealer halls close. Right? They lock them up. They lock up the dealer halls when the dealer halls close, and they open up at a certain time. Dealers are allowed in. The vendors are allowed in. Their workers are allowed in. You got to have your vendor pass or whatever. Why is that? The reason is theft. We like to think our fellow gamers are all honest, and to a large extent, they are. But it doesn't mean that other people in the venues are as honest as we'd like them to be. So that's why we have theft at conventions. I've seen thefts reported at, I think, every convention except for ShireCon that I've been at. So this is my concern. Having these vendor tables, 25 of them, outdoors, you can't lock them up, right? When are you going to vend until midnight, 8 to 12, when the gaming's on, and then you close up the whole venue and post a security guard? Because, this is stuff's going to be outdoors. That's a problem. Here's the other problem. The weather. And I know the tents are going to be covered. The tents, right? When people go, we're selling books. You are selling paper products. What happens when paper mixes with water or a lot of humidity? Might not people with their wet hands, with their dripping raincoats and umbrellas, because they're just coming in out of the rain. If it rains, if it doesn't rain, you don't have this issue. But if it does, it can be an issue. Not everyone's going to be selling dice and patches and tchotchkes. If you're selling gaming books, this would be a concern. I'm not saying it won't work. I'm just saying it's a concern. I'd like to ask Justin how he's going to address that, to both the security aspect and the weather aspect when it comes to paper goods. Now, this will allow the thousands of tourists in Lake Geneva for the weekend of the 4th to buy products from the con vendors. That is awesome if you're a vendor. I will venture a guess. I'm going to make an assumption that because the vendors are outside, you do not need a badge, a con badge, to patronize a vendor, right? I'm guessing the gaming is all indoors. Therefore, outdoors is where the vendors will be. Okay. Here's another issue. Gonna throw it out there. You're having it the holiday weekend. You're expecting thousands of tourists in Lake Geneva. Where are the hotel rooms for the gamers? Has the con gotten a block of rooms? It doesn't even have to be discounted, but a block of rooms put aside within a general walking distance of the convention to accommodate gamers coming from elsewhere outside of the Lake Geneva area. I'm not even going to ask about parking. I'm not even sure what the parking is. I'm sure it could accommodate the numbers of attendees on a normal weekend. I'm not sure about the holiday weekend. So these are questions. I'm glad that Justin was able to give us some basic answers. His answers have given me further questions. And again, I'm not trying to be an ass by asking these questions, but if you're going to be a vendor on the first weekend in July in Lake Geneva, outdoors, under a tent, weather is going to be an issue. Now, if it's a heat wave, it's really going to be an issue for some of these vendors because unlike a farmer's market, which will, at least my experience from the Poconos and from, we have some pop-up ones in New York City, they're usually 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. or so. They start early. They end at the heat of the day. You're going to be expecting people to work beyond the heat of the day again, because if they can't close early because it's outdoors, there are some concerns that I'm sure some vendors would like to see how they're going to be addressed. So I'm just throwing that out there. Sponsors will be on all banners, advertising, and promotional items. All right. That's great. I've mentioned this before, and Justin, you can address this or not. 4 of the 5 sponsors on your current flyer are your companies. So it's great that they're going to be on all banners, advertising, and promotional items. That's great. I just don't know really how many other sponsors you expect to have. Because right now, you are 4 out of 5. I like the side of you much better, Tenkar. You answered me, Justin, without snark, and I give you credit for that, and without a meme. Okay, so yes, we can be civil. Again, these are questions. I hope they can be answered, and if you answer them, and I'll share them. I have no problem sharing. Okay, I think it's the best way to handle it, and I don't really, except for people like Ken Whitman and Gareth Garka. There's a few people that I really almost enjoy butting heads with. I'd rather not butt heads with Justin if he's got legitimate answers, and the answers he gave are legitimate answers. But they gave more questions, and I threw a few questions out there. I'd like to see how they get answered, and I will share the answers if we get them. I'm fairly sure that Justin will answer them. They are basic questions. So, folks, as always, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We're gonna miss the world of COVID. Please use your common sense. Be safe, be well, God bless, roll those dice. Knock on wood. I'll be back again tomorrow. And maybe I'll do a game wrap up. Maybe we're gonna have another session of Joe the Lawyer's Bronze Age Heartbreaker, so that should be fun. All right, folks. On that note, I'm out of here.